But why a food scientist like me need to bother with the science? Because a good ice cream product is built with the science. How you apply the physics on it will actually define your ice cream gonna be. Will it taste good? How satisfied you will feel when you put the ice cream into your mouth. These are something the manufacturer always play around with. The retail price of the brand is linked directly to the effort that manufacturer put into to alter the ice cream property with the application of food physics theory. This is why you can see from the market, the price different ice cream are always huge. Basically, you are paying what you get for. So now let me introduce you about the food physics behind the ice cream.
So here are two examples that can give you a clear image on the importance of physical properties. Sundae cone and Baskin-Robbins. The sundae cone costs you only 1 ringgit, but the Baskin-Robbins costs you 10 ringgit. Why? Eating a scoop of sundae cones makes you feel nothing, maybe just like eating air, while one scoop of Baskin-Robbins makes you feel so satisfied in your mouth. The texture was so perfect, neither so hard nor so soft. The mouthfeel of ice cream is mainly contributed by the overrun. Overrun is one of the physical properties that built in the ice cream. It is the term for the percent of expression of ice cream achieved from the amount of air incorporated in the product during the processing. The higher the percentage of overrun, the more air is trapped into the ice cream during whipping process. The more air trapped into the ice cream base, the lighter and fluffier the texture. A product with low overrun will be more heavier and give denser texture with has richer mouthfeel. Obviously, a high overrun comes with lower cost as it uses more air instead of cream to produce the volume of ice cream. However, the manufacturer cannot incorporate too much air to make the ice cream to lower down the cost, as too high percentage of overrun will give a bad quality of ice cream. This is where the term eating the air comes from. The FDA in USA actually regulates the amount of overrun in ice cream in order to prevent unscrupulous manufacturers from producing and selling an ice cream that is mainly air instead of cream. Now you have understood what overrun meant in food physics. You might curious what is the best overrun should be used for the ice cream making? Well, it depends what kind of ice cream you want, whether it is high costing or the other way around. Premium ice cream like Haagen-Dazs has about 27% overrun and it has creamier, smoother and richer taste than the budget ice cream such as sundae cone. When you go to the grocery and you're like, why is this pint of ice cream cost 25 ringgit versus this pint of ice cream is only 10 ringgit? You know, usually the 10 ringgit pint has a bit more air in it versus the 25 ringgit pint. As mentioned before, the lower overrun makes a better quality ice cream as it will have richer mouthfeel. However, a good ice cream cannot be made without any overrun, as overrun does play an important role in creating an ice cream. Without air added, ice cream will be a frozen block like an ice cube. This will make the ice cream difficult or impossible to scoop or eat with a spoon, and will also give it a very icy texture that will probably not taste very good. So, to sum up the points, adding air to ice cream is necessary, but too much of air will screw up the texture of your ice cream. Thus, you need to be smart in balancing the budget and the texture of your ice cream. So, we are done with the principle of overrun in ice cream. The next physics application we will look into it is the adding of emulsifier and stabilizer into the ice cream. Fats do not dissolve in water naturally, but we need this to be happen during ice cream making to ensure the fat globules can spread throughout in water phase. When fat globules disperse in water, this is known as oil in water emulsion. In order to make this happen, We will need emulsifier which will help in emulsion formation and short-term stabilization. An emulsifier always comes with a hydrophilic side which water can attach on it and hydrophobic side which fats and oil can bind on it. After the emulsion form, however, the emulsion is not stable forever. It tends to separate over time and has within it stabilizer which supply long-term emulsion stability. The emulsifier works by reducing the surface tension between two immiscible phases, which are fat globules and water. The presence of both polar and non-polar tail allow them to orient at the fat and water interface and lower down the interfacial energy, which will eventually lead to the stability of fats to dissolve in water, and thus the ice cream will have premium texture.
Next, adding the stabilizer plays a significant role in achieving the smooth texture of ice cream. The smoothness of ice cream is strongly depending on the forming and the size of ice crystal. Ice crystal will form when there is free water during the storage of ice cream.
Even an emulsifier can keep the water molecules away from each other through mixing with fat globules. The water molecule tends to migrate away from the fat globule side and move toward other molecules over time.
This will lead to the accumulation of free water in ice cream, and the free water can contribute to the nucleation of ice crystal. Ice crystals is undesirable as it will give coarsening effect and the icy texture on ice cream. Therefore, we need stabilizer in our ice cream. The stabilizers are a group of compounds, usually polysaccharides, that are responsible for adding viscosity to the unfrozen portion of the water, and thus holding this water so that it cannot migrate within the product. The increasing of viscosity of the water can limit the mobility of water in the unfrozen phase and thus reduce the degree of ice crystal growth. The smaller the ice crystal in the ice cream, the less detectable they are to the tongue, so the smoother of the ice cream. Without the stabilizers, the ice cream will become coarse and icy very quickly due to the migration of this free water and the growth of existing ice crystals. Especially in the distribution channels of today's marketplace, from the transportation up to the supermarket, ice cream has many opportunities to warm out, partially melt some of the ice, and then refreeze as the temperature is once again lower. This process is known as heat shock. Every time it happens, the ice cream melted and free water migrates and accumulates when the ice cream is refrozen. Ice crystal becomes more and more bigger, contributes to the more icy tastes of ice cream. Stabilizers help to resist the forming and growth of ice crystal during heat shock. All in all, to have a good quality of ice cream with smooth texture, both emulsifier and stabilizer is compulsory in ice cream making. Emulsifier mix the fats and water together can reduce the free water in short term, while stabilizer can prevent the migration and accumulation of free water, thus prevent the ice crystal in long-term storage.
So, I have discussed two important physics applications in ice cream making. Both overrun and addition of emulsifier and stabilizer into your ice cream will determine how good is your ice cream. So, do you get it now?